At this moment, he found himself in a closed and damp place, most likely a stone cave. The cave was tall, but narrow, with a width of only about 3 feet on each side. The walls were made of cold, hard stone, identical to the sheer cliff he had fallen from. It was likely that he was still in the vicinity of the cliff. However, the stones in this cave seemed to contain something luminous. They were not very large, but there were many of them, emitting a soft light that illuminated the cave brightly. Zhang Xiaofan carefully surveyed the situation in the cave. It seemed to be above a passageway, with a pile of rubble blocking one end of the path and the other end extending inward, curving out of sight not far ahead. As he hesitated on the ground, he attempted to get up, but as soon as he moved, a sharp pain shot through his body. He couldn't help but cry out in pain. His body trembled, especially his left hand, which was particularly painful. HMPH. A cold snort suddenly came from deep within the cave. Zhang Xiaofan was startled and turned to look, only to see a girl turning the corner, dressed in water green clothes, with a beautiful and delicate appearance. Who else could it be but one of the Demon Sect's disciples? The two of them had been at odds just moments ago. Now, seeing a disciple of the Demon Sect suddenly appear, Zhang Xiaofan instinctively raised the burning stick, alert and wary. For a moment, he even forgot about the pain in his body. However, the girl named Bai Yao gave him a disdainful glance, showing no intention of attacking. She looked at him with a strange and despondent expression, as if she lacked motivation. Impatiently, she said, all right, look at you. All your bones are broken in 7 or 8 places, yet you're still spirited. Zhang Xiaofan frowned, but seeing that Bai Yao seemed to have no intention of attacking, although he found it strange, he slowly lowered the burning stick. However, as soon as he relaxed, the pain surged back, causing him to cry out again. Bai Yao couldn't help but laugh at Zhang Xiaofan's odd expression. After the laughter died down, the atmosphere relaxed, but after the laughter, she let out a long sigh with a hint of sadness. Zhang Xiaofan snorted. He had a stubborn personality, and being laughed at by this young girl made him feel embarrassed. He said indignantly, "What are you laughing at?" Bai Yao glanced at him and said bluntly, "I'm laughing at you." Hearing her direct words, Zhang Xiaofan felt even more angry. He said angrily, "What's so funny? Would you find it amusing if you were hit like I was?" Bai Yao's expression changed, and she seemed about to teach this ignorant boy a lesson. However, as her hand moved, she suddenly seemed indifferent and sighed, "We're both not long for this world. What's the point of arguing with you?" Zhang Xiaofan was about to be on guard, but when he heard the girl speak like this, he was stunned and asked, "What did you say?" Bai Yao glanced at him and said, "This is a mountain cave. Can't you see?" Zhang Xiaofan said, "Yes. So what?" Bai Yao snorted, pointing to the pile of rubble ahead, and said, "That's the only way out. It's now blocked by giant rocks. If you're capable, then break through and dig your way out." Zhang Xiaofan opened his mouth and glanced at the rubble. The entrance of the cave was tightly sealed by a huge stone, without a single gap. He knew his own capabilities. While he might have some use in fighting against others with his burning stick and his cultivation level, he was utterly useless in breaking through rocks like a fool. After hesitating for a moment, he suddenly remembered something important. He turned around and said, "I remember I hit the cliff and fell to the ground. How did I end up in this mountain cave?" Bai Yao said indifferently, "I dragged you in." "What?" Zhang Xiaofan was infuriated. Bai Yao glanced at him and said, "I fell not far from where you passed out. I happened to see you." At that moment, the black water profound snake was chasing after us again. I looked up and saw that the tree you pulled down was actually at the entrance of a cave. There was light coming from inside, and the entrance was not big, so I hid inside before leaving. I took pity on you and pulled you in, you fool." Zhang Xiaofan frowned and said, "Then how did the entrance get blocked?" Biao shrugged, wearing a look of misfortune. "The black water mystic snake couldn't get in." In a fit of rage, it swept its tail against the cliff, causing half of the mountain to collapse, burying us all here. Zhang Xiaofan looked at her for a while, half believing and half doubting. "Is that true?" Anger flashed across Bia's face. Without hesitation, she grabbed a palm-sized stone and threw it at him. "Do you think I'm lying? I wish I had let you die." Zhang Xiaofan couldn't dodge in time, so he used his hand to protect his head, but the stone hit his left hand, causing intense pain that almost made him faint again. From a distance, Biao saw Zhang Xiaofan's face turn pale and him clutching his injured hand in pain. She sneered, "Don't play dead. I've seen enough of your type." At this moment, Zhang Xiaofan had no strength to argue. He felt the unbearable pain from his broken hand, rendering it numb. Biao walked over to him and examined his arm without caring about his expression. She then said apologetically, "Your hand is broken." Zhang Xiaofan snorted. Despite the pain, he stubbornly said, "The black water mystic snake broke it, not you. Leave me alone." Biao glanced at him and scoffed, but surprisingly said nothing. She moved away and stood aside, watching coldly, as if enjoying the show. Although Zhang Xiaofan was in extreme pain, he couldn't afford to lose face in front of this demoness. He forced himself to stand up and checked his injuries. Apart from various bruises and abrasions, his left hand was indeed fractured, a stroke of luck in an unlucky situation. However, the pain from the fracture was unbearable. After a few movements, he broke out in a cold sweat again, with gritted teeth. Zhang Xiaofan tried to use the basic healing techniques he learned from Qingyun Mountain to immobilize his arm. However, he couldn't find any straight branches among the oddly shaped rocks around him to use as a splint, which troubled him greatly.